I want to make a quick video to show you how I repaired my spigot without having to go in through the masonry or tear out the masonry or go in through the interior. First off, I'm not a blogger. I apologize for the quality of this video. I'm just making this in hopes that it helps one person out. That would be great. I wish I could have found something from a quick and easy search, but actually I turned to Facebook and there was a local group who made some really good recommendations on the tools and repair method, which was used to make this happen. So thank you guys for that. I personally would have preferred to hire a plumber. I value my time pretty highly, and this is not something I was planning on doing, but I called a handful of them, and none of them were able to do it. So this is how I found my spigot and cleaned out the mortar. This is what it looked like with the mortar cleaned out. And then from there, you can see that I cleaned out the interior of that inner outlet or inlet. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Again, I'm not a plumber. I don't really care. But what I do care is that I didn't cause any damage to the backside of my wall covering. You know, a lot of times that can be tile or marble or wallpaper or even texture or drywall, which can be hard to blend in and make the texture look good again. But the first thing that I did was, after I found the spigot hanging out the outside of the wall, I obviously removed it. It was just dangling there, and then identified which type it was, and I was able to determine that the inlet connection well, I actually couldn't see this connection because it was still inside the wall. It just slipped apart right here where the inlet connection meets the rest of the spigot. But by Googling the make and model number, I was able to determine that I did have these threads. I know sometimes they can be soldered, and there's a dozen different connections out there depending on the manufacturer, so make sure you check that. But with me, if I wouldn't have been able to find the make and model and determine if it was threads or not, I was going to go ahead and attempt to do this route anyways, because worst case scenario, I was going to take the plumber's advice and tear out the drywall, so I didn't see that big of an issue. After determining that and determining mine was threaded, I went and purchased this wrench here, as well as this internal pipe wrench. In hindsight, I probably just could have used this, but when I used this, I crushed the outside of the pipe. So if I would have been a little smarter, I could have stuck something in there and prevented crushing that, and I probably could have turned it out. However, this one was extremely challenging to get inside that hole, lift up the insulation, and remove that. It would have been a lot easier if I could have done it with this one, but the challenge with this one, this was actually the set I got. Even this larger one wasn't quite big enough, so I could have gone up another size, but as this separated from the main piece, it was just causing this inner connection to bend, so that did not work. But once I did crush it with the wrench was slipping off, and I went back to this and got it to work. So that's it. That's all there is to it. This is how I found it, cleaned it up, cleaned it out, was able to use the wrench to pop it off, and this is what it looks like after I repaired it. I've still got to go back and touch up the mortar. I just wanted to leave it like this for a couple of days, kind of monitor it, make sure it was not leaking.